Hi, everyone, and welcome to, well, the third and I'm going to say probably the best, right, Jack? The best instalment of the Focal Plane podcast, specially done at the Capitol Theatre. We've thrown Matt and Lauren under the bus who came before you. But now you have a lot to live up to, of course.
Yes, I'm sure they've done sterling work.
So, Jack Lane, you are the set designer in terms of this panto, the Robin Hood Panto.
Yes.
I'm aware that you have many other accolades. I think you've been nominated for awards that are of quite a high prestige.
We were very fortunate to get a pantomime best set award for Beauty and the Beast a couple of years ago.
Wow,
which was fabulous. And you're up against every other panto in the country, so that was lovely.
Incredible.
Yeah, we were really chuffed with that one.
What a massive achievement! I didn't realise that the entirety of the UK.
Yes, the UK Pantomime Association. They send out their people to all pantos. So you're up against hundreds and hundreds of pantos. Not everyone produces in house, of course. So we're a rarity like that. There's not many venues that do produce their own sets. I think there were 5 nominees, and we were one of them for the set.
Incredible.
Brilliant.
Well done. I mean, that's if that isn't an advert to come and see this damn panto.
Come on, and we've gone all out on this one, Sam.
Here's the team working on it, guys.
I'm running on very little sleep. 12-hour days. All for you, Horsham.
All for you, Horsham. And he's come here just especially for me, you, somebody.
Everyone.
Somebody, yes. Good. Well, Jack, thank you so much, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
And look, they say you must never meet your heroes. So it must be an experience for you to meet Sam.
I'm absolutely beside myself, darling. Big fan.
Brilliant, excellent. Yes, moving swiftly on. So, set design for this panto. Tell us, because I got a sneak peek at this earlier this week.
Yeah.
Some monumental work going on with. I mean, I'll show some pictures of this while we're showing this, but some incredible scale that I would never have imagined. And I imagine most people who are not in the industry may be quite naive to that.
Yeah.
But what's been your experience of doing this so far for the panto this year?
Well, for this year, because we're in the last sort of stages of closing as a venue before the big refurb. So I think we really want to go out with a bang on this one.
Yeah.
And every year, this is the 4th one I've designed, and every year I try to top it.
Yeah.
And that's hard because obviously we have a budget and we have to stick as close to it as possible. And trying to come up with ways to visually really stimulate the audience, to move the piece along, it gets harder and harder. This particular one, Robin Hood, because we're in the forest for so many scenes, I wanted it to change. I didn't want to just fly a cloth in with a forest on and that's it. And you said, right, there you are, 8 scenes of forest. You need to make it interesting. You need to move it along. So what I do is come up with this sort of tracking idea where we have 4 huge tracking trees and they can completely track left to right. So even though we go to a slightly different moment in the forest, you can change the look of it. And it just keeps it visually more stimulating for the audience. It's great for scene flow. So when you segue into scenes, there's an obvious change. Oh, we're going somewhere else because the set is moving. So that's a big element I really wanted for this. We did something similar in Beauty and the Beast because a lot of castle scenes. And again, 6 scenes of castle. Well, you can't just stare at one flat for 10 hours. So again, it's just, I did a similar thing there, but this is the most we've done for slides. With 4 sliders now, huge. I think the biggest tree is 6 meters tall, and these are big things. But I'm thrilled with Lauren, our scenic artist, has done an incredible job.
Excellent.
Incredible job on them.
Excellent. I mean, that's and again, just to put the scale on this, I mean, the challenge of what I was seeing around the sliding mechanisms that you talk about, just this isn't just a simple like push in, pull off type thing that we're talking about. We are talking about a hell of a lot of.
I try to do a West End feel on £2.50, and you can do it. You can cheat it. Because I started backstage, I've learned over the years, and I've watched and I've listened, and I've just gone, so if that works, then I could use that for that.
Of course.
And if then I could tweak that and da-da-da-da-da. And you just pull on all your experience. That's all I can, that's all I can do. And think, actually, the lower the budget, the more creative you are.
Of course.
If you give someone £1 million, and it's just overblown, it's too much. And actually, there's a lot of ways you can do it for less. You don't have to spend £500,000.
I mean, this is something that maybe we won't show Matt this part of the podcast.
No, don't tell him any of this.
No, in case he gets some ideas about restricting your budget further.
And you,
but when it's there now, it's going to be out there for the world to see. You can do it. You can do a full set on £2.50. It's good to know.
Yep, there you are.
Excellent.
Write that down. And Matt's laughing in the background.
Fantastic. Well, there we go. Well, I think we may have set you an incredibly difficult challenge for next year in that case. But
we've got more capacity set next year.
That's it.
And you know what that means? Bigger budgets.
Bigger budgets. Exactly. Gosh. So what's been the most surprising left field thing that you've seen during this panto in terms of your role in it?
The surprising left field thing. That's a good question. Do you know what the hardest thing for us is? Because of how our grid space, so our fly tower, when you see a scene and it flies out, it flies up into what's called a fly tower. So you have bars. Everything is hung on a bar. So we've got 42 bars.
Sure.
They're all really, really close together. And I'm talking, that kind of spacing. Flying scenery that's so close is very problematic because things are obviously of a thickness. So when you're flying a flat out, it can hit, it can catch. And when you add in all the lighting on top of that, which again, lighting, very big. You've got moving light, fittings. Yeah. They all take up space. So the hardest challenge on this has been, we've put the set up and then lighting have come in, put their stuff up. And it's like, oh, how on earth are we going to make this work now? And then you have to rejig everything. So that's always the challenge here.
Yeah.
And it's, to be honest, it's actually a challenge at all theatres. When I speak to other people and it's just nice to know other people struggle with the same things and you're not on your own. And you talk to someone, at the Palladium and they go, oh, well, it was a nightmare. We couldn't get that piece of set in.
Oh, unity through suffering.
Yes, it is. Yeah, absolutely. And it's, so it's nice to know they struggle in the West End as, Back to the Future. They got 2 DeLoreans to move around that stage. And it's a nightmare. They've got to, they have to take the set into the wings and then fly it up in the wings because there's no space. That's how limited, a lot of these theatres are in terms of spacing.
I mean, and there's so many, just that DeLorean example is obviously a gargantuan one, but even in smaller or more market town based theatres, the challenge of all those moving parts and every single part of that chain needing to work, it's a lot in my head. It's because I don't just think, oh, that looked pretty, I'll make that piece of set. I have a lot of designers won't do what I do, so I'm a designer but plus a bit extra. So I'll do the get in, I'll do the fit up. So I'm doing that plus all the technical stuff, which a lot of designers don't even think about. They'll give it to the crew and say, make that work. Damn.
Whereas I bolt on the extra bit of being able to help and assist with that, which again is a clever way to be able to have that knowledge to be able to cheat a set. Yes. If do you see what I mean? On a budget to make it work. So I know I can make that work because I understand how that works. Whereas if you've got another designer in, yes, they can do a lovely design, but they won't know the finite details of how that theatre works, wing space. Oh, you can't put that there, you can't do this. Whereas because I've been here for 150 years, you just know how it all needs to work. You know what I mean? It's a big leg up.
I mean, and yes, the 150 years things is a slight exaggeration, of course, but only slight, because 22 years?
Yeah.
22 years.
I left school, came straight here.
Is there anything in this building that's been here for 22 years that we're seeing around us at the moment? I mean,
we're just about to refurb it. So
well,
this was literally when it reopened last time. So I kind of started then.
Excellent.
So I'm as old as the furniture.
That's it. I mean, what a cliche that absolutely holds true for the first time.
No, literally is true. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. He is the furniture, not just part of it.
Yeah.
So I mean, that 22 years must have brought. That must have brought some stories, but also a wealth of experience in lots of different elements, not just set design. I know you do so much more than that. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, so I started here as a tech. I was in love with cinema projection. This is back in 35mm days. So I'm already sounding like an old man. So back when it was 35mm and used to run film, I loved it. And I absolutely adored running 35mm. There's a film called Cinema Paradiso, an Italian film. And it's all about this little boy who's obsessed with the projection room. That was me. Toto, his name is. And we've got one on display in the glass box. Even that's a museum piece in my lifetime, which is frightening. And I probably was a full-time tech for, I think I did about 8 years full-time tech. And then I went to see my first West End show, which was The Producers musical at Drury Lane. And I was gobsmacked. And that's when the acting bug bit. And I just saw Max Bialystock, the lead character in it, and I just thought, I have to do this. I've got to do this. And I was in awe of it. And that's when I started my own theatre company. I got the rights to do Steptoe and Son, staged that, adapted that for the stage. And then everything snowballed from there. And the Capitol has been my second home, literally second home. I started all my shows here. It's still a family here. You know, a lot of us have been here for 20 years and some even longer, actually, from the Arts Centre days. So Sally on Box Office and some of the girls, they actually knocking on 30 years probably.
Wow.
25 years. And the biggest compliment to a building is staff retention. If you see a theatre with a high turnover, or any business with a high turnover, there's a problem.
Yeah, there's something. There's a problem. That was saying something, yes. Yeah, absolutely.
But I've always just adored the building so much. I've just got so much emotional baggage in this place. It's untrue. And it's just because I love it. I just think we're so lucky to have it. I've toured to so many theatres, like 200, and you go in a theatre, you know when it's loved by the staff, and by the community, and you'll go in some and there's no soul, and this is so loved here. And the nicest thing is when we'll have a comedian come in. Lots of comedians love this venue. They just say it's got a lovely feel and it's such an intimate house for comedy, and plays work really well here as well because it's got a lovely intimate feel, but it's not tiny. Do you know what I mean? It's just that nice middle ground of auditorium. So a lot of things work really nicely in here, including big shows, you know, like musicals. It just everything seems to just work on that stage. And we're very lucky that the council support it as much as they do. The fact we're getting a 10 million refurb 20 years after the last one, I could probably name on that hand how many councils are doing that in this country. So HTC have been very good to it and to me.
And as we were saying, I mean, in previous conversations, we mentioned about how important and critical the theatre is, of course, but just performing arts, that sort of industry needs support and needs to thrive, not just survive.
Well, and it's so important for the community.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to rejuvenate a town, get a theatre in there. Because all the restaurants and cafes, you look at London, the West End. Can you imagine Pizza Expresses if they all closed? There's just no one coming in. No one coming into them. And the theatres, they're responsible for billions of pounds worth of income. It's a huge industry and it's so undervalued. It's very frustrating for those that work in the arts, because the arts contribute a vast amount to the economy of
massively,
the UK.
Exactly.
And especially the English, why with everything that goes on in the world and in this country, but I'm always so fiercely proud of being British in the sense of what we produce in entertainment. We're revered. We're literally revered for our acting talent, for our producing quality. Shows like Paddington that's just opened at the Savoy. It's just got that British edge to it of quality. Now, if you gave that to the Yanks and put it on Broadway, you'd be looking at a very different show. We just have a subtlety and a nuance here. Whereas Broadway, very, showbiz, glitz, glamour, they have it over a barrel. Have us over a barrel. Sure. But here, I think for things like Paddington, those types of shows, we reign supreme. And for local communities, it's so important to have a venue like this.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, with that theme, I mean, the Capitol Theatre, the pantos that have gone on in years past, and this one, of course, you're attracting some incredible talent that are performing, that do perform at the highest level up in the West End.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this isn't just a little town production here. This is a huge full
we
whack.
punch way above our weight for a 400-seater. Way above our weight. Yeah.
So I mean, and there have been so many little sound bites from today about little things that could just sell an entire show, but this is one of them. I mean, the absolute ambition to just go above and beyond. It just drips out of you guys. Jack, you're telling me this. Lauren was mentioning about some of the incredible things she does with her marketing. And Matt's tenacity to just go, every year needs to be better. Every year needs to go just that one step above. And when you're already at your best, that takes some doing to then step up the game.
Definitely, it's hard. It's hard to keep that level there. And expectation is always going to be there. You know, so it's like, how are we going to top this now? What can we do? Something coming out the stage, you know, something coming down from here, just some sort of surprise for the audience.
The thing, and whatever you do, however incredible it will be, and it will be incredible for this panto, everyone will sit there enjoying it, but also just, of course it's going to be this good. Of course this was going to be amazing.
Yeah. Absolutely, and especially it was record breaking last year, the sales. We've never hit those figures, and they're so important for the income of the theatre pantos. You know, they bring in so much money to keep these buildings cost a fortune to run, and people don't have a clue, and nor should they. It's not their business to. It's to come here and be entertained.
Exactly. Yes.
But for us and for the business and the producer side of it, you've got to cover your costs. You know, there's a lot of running costs with these buildings. So
and it is one of the biggest things we've been focusing on today is just the hard work behind the scenes that, of course, we don't appreciate because, well, we don't in any walk of life, do we? You know,
of course not.
So many things we walk past that people have slaved thousands of hours.
That coffee table, someone's designed that.
Someone's designed that, right? Yeah. And we're sullying it with these,
do you know what I mean?
with this paraphernalia.
Absolutely, it's all been thought about. Someone's done it and executed it, and there it is. This is for the world to see. But you don't think that.
You don't think about it.
No.
And but this is what's wonderful about productions, and in this realm is in those moments, and I guess in the 52 times you're going to do it this season. Each one is that just culmination of love, but also the blood, sweat, and tears.
Yes.
And quite literally from some of the things I've been seeing, but the
cuts all over the place.
And that's incredible. And to have that in this town with people who are so, motivated, dedicated, and experienced, who've got, hey man, you've got the accolades to prove it now, right? I mean, that nomination is something else. How freaking lucky are we?
I've bleated this for years that Horsham is so lucky to have this venue, but it is so well supported. We just for capacity on shows, we're always hitting 70-80% capacity is minimum.
Brilliant.
Like it's way above national average. So as a venue, it does very well, and it's just people flock in. And after the refurb, even more so. I can't wait to get those cinema screens upgraded. They're going to be amazing, really amazing.
Excellent. Yeah. And aside from the things that are going on here in your life, I know as we mentioned about your experience up to this point.
Yeah.
But you do so many other things in the performing arts world, and you've got some other things coming up. Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so obviously I started the theatre company. So I produce my own work. I co-producing. So basically, I was asked to do a show called Dad's Army Radio Show back in 2017 by David Benson. Who an actor some of you may well know. We've worked together multiple times. And we toured Dad's Army. We've got the rights to Dad's Army. We toured that for about 7-8 years, various versions of the show, just a 2-man version, and we voiced the whole cast to all the sound effects and all that stuff. And it was just a huge hit, and it just carried us for years. And it was a big title to have, Dad's Army. It's a big title.
It's a household name, right?
That's massive, and just so loved by such a broad range of people. So that kept me very busy. We did a Christmas Carol, staged that here during COVID. It was one of the few shows in the country still running over Christmas during COVID, because we couldn't stage a panto in the main house that year.
Yeah.
Prior to all that, I'd written a one-man play on Norman Wisdom's life, toured that. That was hard work. Norman Wisdom, hard work to play. Lovely, but not subtle.
Not subtle.
But it was his life story, so there were a lot of highs and lows. So it really had a nice, and with Norman's high octane energy, it's always nice to then drop and then you go back up and drop. Very Chaplin-esque in that sense in his life story. And then next year I'm co-producing David's one-man play on Kenneth Williams, which he opened 30 years ago, and he was in the West End with it. A huge hit, and it's unusual because it's about David's life as well, not just Kenneth. So it's a hybrid in a way. Most people will do, like I did, a show on Norman Wisdom about Norman Wisdom, nothing to do with me. Whereas David's interwoven his life and his relationship with his mother, and really cleverly done, and he was really held up for it. And so that's he's reworked the show a little bit for its 30th anniversary. So that kicks out from late January, goes out on a UK tour. So I'll tour out with that. I'm not in it. I'm just co-producing it.
Sure.
But it's nice because if you're not acting, it's always handy to have other roles to fall back on, and I can fall back on quite a few.
Oh, so many.
I'm not waiting tables when I'm waiting for an agent to call. That's the nice thing, I'm still in the industry and doing stuff. So that's what I do like. And there's other projects. There's one big project I'm trying to get off the ground, but it would mean getting the rights, and it's quite a big title.
Okay.
So I daren't mention what it is, but
you suck.
No, I know. I'm sorry, but I just don't want to tempt fate. But I'm gunning for it.
Oh, the old superstitions reign supreme, don't they?
Yes.
So, with all the things that you've done, somebody who might be aspiring to be in a theatre space, performing arts world in any guise, shape or form, what would you say to them? What would you think is the biggest thing you would say to yourself, even if you were starting over?
It's difficult for me, Sam, because I didn't go to college, I didn't go to university, I didn't do the official route.
Sure.
So it's really hard for me to say, well, go to RAD. I don't know what they're like. I don't know. I always knew the area I wanted to go in. I hated school so much. I just wanted to get out of education. I hated it. And I mean hate. So the fact that the idea of having someone stood there telling me about something, sedentary rock and Bunsen burners and, just makes me nauseous.
That does sound like a weird lesson, but yeah.
It was an eclectic school. They were the bad years. I just hated it so much. And this was just reopening after its huge refurb.
Yeah, sure.
And the manager then, Michael Gattrell, I just hammered him and hammered him and hammered him. I want to work here. I want to work here. I want to work. Yeah. And I literally worked here for free. And I said, I will come in and train on the projectors for free. That's how much I wanted to do it. And I did 6 weeks of training with John Prince, who was the old projectionist here, lovely boy. And I loved it. It was just, I didn't need to be paid because I was happy. And I learned, but by the end of that 6 weeks, I was employable. So it was perfect for me. If you're passionate enough, you don't have to go down that route of RADA, Mount View, yada, yada, yada. But it is a lot harder. And I didn't have a golden ticket. I don't come from a moneyed background.
Sure.
I didn't have mummy and daddy to send me through these lovely drama schools and 50 grand later. Wasn't going to happen. So I've had to really do it in a different way, which is very hard as an actor because you don't have the golden ticket on a certificate saying, he's done his RADA.
Here's my street cred to say yes. Yeah. Okay.
Very difficult.
Yeah.
It's not impossible. There's lots of big actors that have never done that.
Yeah.
That it can be done.
Yeah.
But it is hard because it's an elitist business. And it won't change. Think about it. If I want to write a play, to write, you need time. To have time, you need money. Well, there's the problem.
Yes. So suddenly do you know what I mean? Run into a circle that doesn't really start.
It doesn't work. And that's why theatre is, unfortunately, quite an elitist business. And it's very hard to have the time to sit down. And to be creative, you need to do nothing. And although that sounds awful and lazy, it's not. You have to do nothing because your brain has to get to a point where it's not buried in, what am I doing on my shift today? Or what are the kids doing? You need to just flatline and then things start to bubble because you can just close your eyes and have peace. That's how my brain works creatively. But that is hard when you've got bills to pay, kids to feed, all those things that everyone has. And you've got a job as well. It's very difficult. Very difficult. So, and with this place closing next year, I'm thinking, oh, well, income's going a bit, I've got to think about what I'm going to do next year. So you're always thinking way in advance.
Of course, yeah.
And that in itself is exhausting.
It is because all the things you talk about. Even I imagine for people who perhaps have, dare I say, gold and silver tickets, you still have the element of this entire industry is unpredictable. I mean, so whatever
absolutely.
There is no such thing as a guaranteed.
I know so many people that have been through GSA, Guildford School of Acting. Yeah. 3 years, thank you very much. They now sell wood for a living or something. Sure. Or, they're working as a hairdresser. Yeah. They haven't even done it. And you think, oh my word, you've all of that. And they've never been able to get work. And that's the problem. It's such you're just pulling a jackpot arm, you just don't know.
But I mean, saying that, your story around how you came into the performing arts world itself.
Yeah.
I mean, look, you hammered on this guy's door. You said, "Look, I'll work for free."
Yeah.
You had the tenacity and the determination to do that.
Yes.
With a bigger vision behind it.
Because I so didn't want to go back to education.
Okay. Well, there's
always something empowering you to go. I would move heaven and earth.
Yeah.
To not be at a college or a university.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's for the love of things. Sometimes it is for the utter detestment of things.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Or to prove something.
We need to move forward in a different direction.
Yeah. And because I struggled academically at school, I just thought I was going to be an abject failure. And I just thought, no. Yeah. And that's why I linked up with Norman Wisdom so much, because he was effectively homeless and on the streets. He had nothing to lose. And when you have nothing to lose, that's actually a huge game changer for you, because it gives you so much impetus to go, well, I'll just do it. I'll just go and go and go and go until I get it.
Yes.
So you got more of a dogged determination. Yeah. So it's interesting how that can work.
Yeah. I mean, that might well have been how you... I mean, that all makes sense. And I can tie that into how you got your foot onto the ladder, started to work your way up. Yeah. But that won't have driven you for the next 20 years.
No. And that's passion. That is passion, definitely. Because you can't do this job without that.
I mean,
it's hard work.
It's hard work. It's endless hours.
Yeah.
So much that weighs on you.
Yeah.
So much that you're responsible for. I mean, in various different roles, that will vary, of course.
Yeah.
But that has to be now something that's pulling you forward, or moving you towards a bigger goal, or something greater than the sum of your own parts.
Yes.
And the fact that you may, and you have told me this story about how, look, education was not for me. I absolutely hate it with a passion. Hence, I had to do anything, move heaven and earth to get into this situation. That's not the same person who's getting a nomination for a national award.
No.
And it's also not just passion, I don't think. There's got to be an ambition or a vision of where you want to go, rather than just, I love the space, I love the...
I just love that you can give a room of 400 people an escape.
Yeah.
And all this graft that we're doing now, the 12-hour days, weeks on end, it'll only pay off until I see that set doing a huge scene change and the audience going...
And you knowing the amount of your creativity, your £2.49.
I'm done.
Yes.
I've done my job.
You've done your job. Yeah.
They're happy. Yes. I'm happy. That's ultimate. And sometimes they say, well, you shouldn't do it to please the audience. I think that's absolute nonsense. If people have paid, especially in an acting sense, that said a lot. You shouldn't do it for the audience. You should do it for yourself. And I get what they're saying. I get the
you should do it for Matt, the producer. But I mean, anybody else is
Yeah. But I think ultimately, I want that family of four who've paid a lot of money to come out going,
blown away by that.
That was phenomenal. I can't believe that's a regional theatre.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I get a lot of joy out of that.
And you light up talking about it, Jack. Absolutely. I love your force of voice going into that, because that is what I was trying to get to. That is where, the guy who's just like, I'm trying to escape from this, but now I've really got somewhere that I'm going with it, and something that innately drives me day by day to be better than myself, better than what I did before. This year's got to be more, because this constant moving target of expectation is there.
Yeah.
So, and how can you meet that? Through your experience, through your creativity, through your drive, through understanding that, next year, I mean, I don't know the intricacies of your own challenges around what you're going to be looking at, but in terms of the bigger picture, what's the next 5, 10, 20 years look for Jack?
Yeah.
That's a huge force that you have that no one's going to take away from you.
No.
To push forward.
That's true.
And that's incredible.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, and it's not until someone says that to you that you realise it.
Because we're just living our lives, right?
Yes,
we're just kind of going day by day.
To day.
But only when we take that step back.
Yes.
Do we really appreciate that? And I really hope that people watching this appreciate the kind of people like yourself that are putting in that incredible amount of work. That's coming from a real, true, genuine place. This isn't just a 9 to 5 for you. No. Nor is it for anybody who's working here.
It can't be.
No. So what an inspiring thing. And I wish more people knew this. I hope that people who do see it feel the same really just feel the same butterflies that I feel listening to you talk about it, because it's an incredible thing.
Thank you. That means a lot. That does mean a lot. Thank you.
Jack, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
It's been great to hear some insights of the shenanigans of the stage setup.
Certainly shenanigans.
But everyone's got a ton of stuff to look forward to with Robin Hood.
They really do. They really do.
Guys, you need to come and see this. I can't wait to see the full production. But Jack, once again, thank you so much.
Thank you,
it's been a real pleasure to have you.
Thank you.
Take care.